Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to the Celtic Way YouTube channel, X page, and Facebook page. My name is Ryan McGinley. This afternoon, I'm delighted to be joined by Tony. Where it was Ross County 1, Celtic 4. We're just in the Ross County car park in Dingwall, just outside the Global Energy Stadium. Kyogo and Engels steer the champions, 8 points clear. It was a goal and an assist, 18 points clear. Did I say that? I think I said 18. I'm not sure. 8 plus 10 then. How about that? Yeah, a goal and an assist from Arne Engels, 2 goals from Kyogo, and a late strike from Luke McCowan. And Ross County's goal was a Jordan White penalty to make it 1 each. But Celtic scored 3 goals in the last 10 or so minutes to really take the game away from the hosts. Tony, what did you make of that game?
I said in the predicted 11 that Celtic would win by 3 clear goals, so I was quite chuffed at that. I did say they would win 3-0 in my predictions. Listen, they came on strong right at the death, didn't they? Very strong. Changes made a difference. Good to see them run out emphatic winners. When it went to 1 each, was I worried? Not particularly, because I still thought they would fashion a chance, or at least one more chance, and get the winning goal. Kyogo doing what he does best, scoring goals. People reading a lot into his body language, lack of real celebrations, stuff like that. Read what you want into that. Lots of people speculating that he could be off. There's no smoke without fire, all that kind of stuff. But Engels goal and assist, and did very well, Ryan.
Absolutely. Yeah, 2 goals from Kyogo. We could talk about his body language in a wee bit, but let's talk about the game first. So there was quite a few changes to the team. You had Adam Idah leading the line and Kyogo playing off the left-hand side. You had Yang on the right-hand side. In the midfield, Arne Engels was there. You know, he arguably could have been man of the match again today. That's not bad for a player that missed out for the majority of the Glasgow derby. You know, he's came back and he's really came back with a bit of a vengeance.
Yeah.
Since the festive sort of period, I think he's really turned it on and he's starting to really show why he's an £11 million player. Couple that with the fact that the Celtic fans are actually singing about him now. I believe they're singing the Kai Havertz song that the Arsenal fans have. Don't know the exact words. I need to get back to you on that. But the fans are singing about Arne Engels, a goal and an assist today. What did you make of his overall contribution? Brendan Rodgers talked about his authority in the game and his happiness in playing for Celtic at the moment. Do you agree with those sentiments?
I think the manager nailed it. He is beginning to look like that authoritative figure that Celtic thought they'd signed. I've been saying it for the past couple of weeks now. He's settling in and he looks like the player that you all thought we'd sign from the summer from Augsburg. Started off well. Don't think anybody can deny that for a month or so he was off the boil. He was taken out the firing line by the manager. Brilliant piece of man management. And the player clearly understands now, to quote yourself, he understands the assignment now. He understands the high bar that's been set. And he's now setting himself a very high bar because his last few performances have been excellent.
Absolutely.
Sorry, on you go.
Yeah, let's go on and talk about Kyogo because his first goal was a great bit of play from Adam Idah, who gets the back heel to Callum McGregor. Callum McGregor then passes it out wide to Alistair Johnson. Johnson then plays a low ball into the box and it's tapped home by Kyogo. It's a really good finish from the striker. Instinctive, but he needed that, didn't he?
Yeah, I don't think you can underestimate Adam Idah's contribution for that goal as well. He's got his detractors, Adam Idah. I've seen a lot of things online and a lot of social media having a go at him. But, the two of them were playing together today and they worked in tandem. Neither was played out wide. They were coming short, they were coming deep. And whenever one came short or went deep, the other one filled in at the top. And Brendan Rodgers also said that Adam Idah doesn't really need to change too much to his game. The only thing Adam Idah has to change to his game is scoring goals. But he's got some nice touches, and that touch, that back heel, flicked to Callum McGregor, opened up the space. McGregor shunts it to Johnson. First time ball in, meet and drink to Kyogo. First time finish, sweeps it home. Great goal, excellent football goal. And then obviously second goal as well from Arne Engels. Again, pinpoint delivery. He gets the glance on it to touch it away from the goalkeeper. Goalkeeper who had an excellent game, I thought. Absolutely brilliant. But yeah, that's Kyogo at his best, isn't it? But again, the delivery has to be there. It was there from Engels, it was there from Johnson. And Adam Idah's link-up play was good. The two of them haven't played together at all, really, have they, for any length of time? Manager spoke about that as well, so it's kind of necessity that he had to do it. But it's job done. They coped well. They did well enough in the main.
Yeah. Just to touch on Kyogo, we've spoke about his 2 goals. It's a great delivery from Arne Engels into the box and a great header. The goalkeeper, he gets a palm on it, but he can't keep it out. That's the strength of the header. Maybe the goalkeeper could do a wee bit better, but Kyogo scored the second of the game thanks to that assist. Just on Kyogo, um, it's a bit of a weird one to talk about because he scored the 2 goals, yet he doesn't seem to be at the moment. And I don't want to go into the whole body language. I don't like going down that road at all. But just looking at the player and looking at how he was celebrating, or maybe a lack of celebration, do you think there's more at play here, Tony? Do you think there's maybe something in the offing? I know he celebrated at the end. He did his usual celebration with the fans. But even that was a bit half-hearted, and it wasn't given with as much exuberance as what it has been before. I'm not trying to make up any conspiracy theories or that about the player, but I don't know. Something felt a bit off for me. That was my personal opinion, just from being at the game.
We will find out in the fullness of time, Ryan. The January window shuts in just over 3 weeks, doesn't it? This will play out the way it's meant to play out. Somehow, it was a colossal blunder from the MLS, wasn't it, website? But you say to yourself, why would they make that colossal blunder? Only they can answer that, and they have answered that, said it was an error. But, Ronnie Dyler going there, Kenny Miller being his assistant, they'll know all about Celtic players, Kenny Miller in particular. So, don't know if it's Atlanta or it's someone else, but, you can read into Kyogo's celebrations today or lack of therein, but at least he didn't take the huff, Ryan. He still scored 2 goals and he's still given his all as a Celtic player. I thought he was excellent today, to be honest. And, the manager spoke about him yesterday. He was asked again about him today, but he spoke about him yesterday and said it was a major surprise to him because he was still in the building and he was going to be on the bus to Dingwall. So not only was he on the bus to Dingwall, he took to the park and he scored 2 goals, and that's 12 for the season now for Kyogo.
See if that's Kyogo in a huff. We'll take him in a huff more often because he got a double. He was playing with a bit of vengeance today, and there was no complaints about that. Obviously, before the Kyogo, the second goal from Kyogo, Ross County get back in the game. It's Alistair Johnson that collides with the player in the box. It looks as if it is a penalty. I've only seen it once. I've only seen it in real time. But as soon as it happened, I was like, that's a spot kick. And it was clumsy. And apart from that, I thought Alistair Johnson had a good game, but it's uncharacteristically clumsy from the player.
Yeah, it is uncharacteristic, but he still shouldn't be doing it, Ryan. And because it puts Celtic in a sticky wicket for a spell, because Ross County felt there was more in it for them after that, didn't they? And they had a real go and put Celtic under some. Alistair Johnson contributed to Celtic being put under some unnecessary pressure. You say otherwise, he had a good game, a cracking assist with Kyogo's goal, and he was in the main, he was doing very well. But that kind of blots your copybook a wee bit at times, doesn't it? And there's no need for him to do that. And I know VAR checked it out and took a wee while, but to me, it looked a clear-cut penalty, I have to say. So I've no complaints about that. Both of them I thought were clear-cut penalties, so I've no complaints about them.
Yeah, I see people in the comments saying no negative Kyogo chat. I think we've left the Kyogo chat. It was just a point that I wanted to make, and it's just from what I was seeing on the pitch, and by all accounts, it seems in his post-match interviews he was in better spirits. Maybe he was just in a mood for not scoring, and then he was more relieved than joyous. But it's that.
Or maybe he's a wee bit perturbed by the speculation and the blunder that was made, and it's and because of all the negativity that's arisen around social media around it, so he's answered that today in the best possible way by scoring 2 goals for Celtic. It's not so much negative Kyogo chat. We're reacting to circumstances and things that are happening. We're reacting to factual things. So, listen, nobody wants Kyogo to leave the building. Certainly not in January, and certainly not before they play Young Boys or Bern in the Champions League. I mean, that would be utter folly for Celtic to contemplate getting into any kind of transaction with regards to Kyogo.
I think there would need to be a replacement that comes in first before you even sell Kyogo, and even then, you would expect Kyogo to lead the line against Young Boys.
Yeah, and lots of people are putting 2 and 2 together because Celtic have been lined up with strikers. Feast Garden's name's cropped up again, hasn't
it? The name that isn't going away, Tony.
Yeah, and I know you've been on that bus for a wee while, and so it is a name that's not going away, yeah. So we shall see. But again, as I said, these things will play out in the January transfer window, but you can't ignore the fact that there was a backdrop going into today with regards to Kyogo. Manager addressed it yesterday, and so be it. The players addressed it himself today by scoring twice. And I'm like you, I hate body language experts and all that, but if you study these things, or celebrations or lack of therein, I have seen Kyogo be more exuberant when he scored. Let's put it that way.
Especially going 2-1 up, as somebody in the comments was saying as well. That's a big goal. It's not as if it's an early goal either. Yes, it was earlier than Kuhn's goal the last time Celtic went up to Dingwall, but at the same time, it's still a late goal, and the crowd went absolutely crazy when and he just high-fived his teammates, which is totally fine. He's well within his rights. One of the best strikers of all time. Thierry Henry hardly celebrated a goal. That was just the way he was. So I don't want to read into it too much, but I just wanted to bring that up. Luke McCowan then scored. No, in fact, it was Arne Engels that scored. Yeah, I know we've got different views about Yang. I thought in front of goal he was very, very poor, but his overall game I thought was decent. He was running with the ball. I know he doesn't have anything tangible. He doesn't have a goal or an assist, but he does win the penalty that gets to that all-important third goal, eventually by Arne Engels. But it's a very mixed performance from a player that probably does need a loan deal out of the club.
Yeah, that's his only valid contribution for me today, Ryan. That, and then he missed a chance, didn't he?
The big chance that was it was one-on-one with the goalkeeper. It's one of those ones that if Nicholas Kuhn or Daiz Maeda are in front of goal, you'd put your money on them scoring that goal. So maybe that's the difference, and that's the difference between the players.
And I don't like having a downer on players per se, but I just think Yang for me just isn't doing it. So even when he maybe had a more improved game today, people are saying that I'm not seeing it. So that's fair enough. It's just somebody I just don't think will succeed at Celtic.
Yeah,
and he's had the last 3 games now, hasn't he? Four. Last 4 in the spin. And I can't really think of any real positive contribution from him.
I think it's 3. It might be 3 or 4. He's had a lot of games in the past. It's been the longest run of his Celtic career.
And compare and contrast to the other wide men, Maeda and Kuhn, in terms of positive contributions. So I will need to be enlightened as to what Yang brings to the table.
Fair enough. Different opinion.
And that's just the way I feel about it. So
yeah, I thought it was one of his better performances out with his end product. And wingers will be judged on their end product at the end of the day. But I did think he was committing his man and forcing his man to make decisions. Let's get into the third goal, which was eventually scored by Arne Engels. The first one was well saved by the Ross County goalkeeper, but Engels then steps up, character, takes it again, sends it the wrong way. Doesn't do a Lewis Palmer, as you were talking about last season. Doesn't go the same way. He goes a different way, and he puts it away at plumb. A great finish from another really good performance for Arne Engels today, and that's another goal contribution added to his growing list.
That's his 100% record from the spot, still intact. It was nearly not intact, Ryan, but he gave the goalkeeper the shush, didn't he? I think at some point. So I think there was something going on between them. But listen, he got he was fortuitous to get the chance to take it again, and he buried it. So that's all you can ask from 12 yards, and we've got a reliable penalty taker. So, but I was quite impressed by the Ross County goalkeeper today, I have to say.
Mm-hmm. In the fourth goal, Luke McCowan, it's a really good finish from close range, but I think Johnny Kenny does really well in the build-up here. I noticed after the goal was scored by McCowan, a lot of the players were going over to Kenny and applauding him for his contribution. Yeah. It's a good run. He doesn't get an assist for it because, let me think, who was it that got the assist for Luke McCowan? I'm putting myself on the spot here. Somebody in the comments can enlighten me with that. But Johnny Kenny makes that run. He shows a good deal of pace as well. He's quite a pacey striker up front. Looks like he's matured into a man as well since he's been away at Shamrock Rovers. But a positive impact from Johnny Kenny.
Yeah, and he came steaming out at the back post and nearly scored from one of the corners, didn't he? He was inches away from converting. So I liked what Johnny Kenny brought. He got involved, Ryan. From the minute he came on, he got involved. So I was impressed with that. So, but yeah, in the team because of circumstance, but certainly the manager will have thought, okay, there's something to work with there. moving forward, and hopefully he'll appear in more teams.
One appearance, one assist for Johnny Kenny. He has actually been attributed with the goal, so he gets the ball into Luke McCown.
Yeah.
So very well done to him. And Brendan Rodgers was delighted. He obviously wanted to talk about the Irish connection of an Irish Celtic fan coming into the team, making his debut for the side. Actually, we had a wee look at that to see if he hadn't made an appearance before. I don't think he has. That was his debut. I've looked at a couple of headlines and they were saying the same as well. So one appearance, one assist. He'll be hoping for one better next time. Maybe he might get a look in on Tuesday against Dundee. But you know, he's made a positive impact and his managers recognise that. Is there anyone else you want to touch upon before we leave? Before we love them and leave them at Dingwall?
Touch upon the weather. It was -9, I believe, at some point. It was the coldest I'd been in a long time watching the football. The manager mentioned them as well, the Celtic supporters, for braving the elements and going there in their numbers and support the team. I think that's dedication and commitment, and well done to them. 12:30 in a freezing Dingwall of a Saturday is not the easiest, and especially in these conditions. So I echo the manager's sentiments to get great backing today from the crowd.
Yeah, you were saying the temperature there. A couple of people are saying it's -18 at the moment. Celtic are 18 points clear. Not the 8 that I maybe said earlier on in this video.
But that's what part of the world you live in, right?
Yeah, that's very true. Very true. But the Celtic are in a tremendous position at the top of the Scottish Premiership table. They next play Dundee on Tuesday at Dens Park, where one or both of us will be at on Tuesday. Hopefully both of us, permitting, weather permitting and everything else. But thank you to each and every one of you for joining us on the show today. Sorry we had to do it from the car. Just time constraints, unfortunately, getting the press conference out, which is available on the website. Speaking of the website, we've got a very special offer to be talking about right now at the Celtic Way, at www.celticway.co.uk/subscribe. £1 for 6 months of action, £1 for 6 months of information and content. You'll have transfer latest, breaking manager and player interviews. You'll have the Brendan Rodgers one that's available just now, and a player that we spoke to that'll be available at 10:30 this evening. Match tactics and analysis with stats bomb data from myself, Stuart Ross, Alan Morris, and John McGinley, Tony as well. You get scouting reports and player analysis from all of the above, exclusive Celtic interviews, and that bespoke ad-free app that's available on the Google Play Store and the App Store as well if you're on iOS devices. Tony, it's been a pleasure. Thank you very much for driving me, first and foremost. I'll thank you again once you drop me off this evening. Thank you to each and every one of you for joining us. It is another great day to be following Celtic and writing about Celtic. Ross County 1, Celtic 4. Celtic are 18 points clear at the top of the table. Have a very good rest of your day, and we'll see you all on Monday morning. Cheers, guys.